Assalamu alaikum everybody, and a very warm welcome to episode 2 in the Qur'an with Sam series. If you haven't watched the previous episode, which is kind of the introduction, episode 1, then please go back and do that, because this is a very linear kind of series of lessons that we're doing as we're walking through the whole of Surat Muhammad, or at least a good chunk of it, inshallah. I think we'll get through a good chunk of the whole surah. But then obviously it'll be up to the discretion of the students. If the students would like us to change to a different text somewhere down the line, then we can do that. But at least for a little while, we're going to be doing a good chunk of Surat Muhammad as like a word-for-word Arabic language orientated walkthrough for the students of the Arabic language. So first thing I'll say, actually, for those of you guys who don't know, bonus resources for this whole series are on Patreon as well for only £3 a month. You can get a hold of all of the bonus resources. They look like this. Bonus PDF resources with the actual text itself for you to follow along, a translation of it, as well as a vocab list and some grammar notes and stuff too that are all kind of packaged up nicely in very appealing and nice looking bonus resources for you guys to have. So let's get into it, inshallah. Let's carry on. So we did the first ayah in the last lesson, so let's come to the second ayah. Excuse me. So what do we have? We have وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَآمَنُوا بِمَا نُزِّلَ عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ وَهُوَ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ كَفَّرَ عَنْهُمْ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ وَأَصْلَحَ بَالَهُمْ. So what do we have? We've already seen الَّذِينَ. We saw الَّذِينَ in the previous lesson. And another note for those of you who are supporting on Patreon, thank you all so much, by the way, those of you guys who part with your hard-earned money to be part of the community and get more. For these of you guys who are using those resources in the vocab lists, we will offer, if there's been a term that's very regularly repeated, we won't repeat it again, right? Or else in every single lesson, we would probably have the word min, the word wa, the word fa, the word la. There's some words in Arabic that are just so common that we maybe won't repeat them. So it's possible that in the vocab list for this resource, الَّذِينَ hasn't been mentioned again. But الَّذِينَ essentially means those, as in referring to those people, those who do something. And those who آمَنُوا, those who have believed. This often gets translated by students as like those who are believers or something like that. But really it means those who have believed, because it's a verb, آمَنَ, it's a form 4 verb. Those who have believed. And those who have believed and do what? وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And they do. The verb عَمِلَ means to do something. In fact, we even saw a word from that same root, the word أعمال, meaning your deeds or your works, at the end of the previous ayah. But the actual verb عَمِلَ means to do, or really if you ask somebody, ماذا تعمل, what do you do? You're kind of asking them, what is your work? What's your job? It's kind of what you're asking. There's another word like شغل is work as well, but the verb عَمِلَ is to do. But anyway. So, and those who believe and do as-salihat. As-salihat, it means good deeds, right? Or righteous deeds, perhaps, because of the term salih. But as-salihat is an expression which we know to mean good deeds. وَآمَنُوا, and we have the word آمَنُوا again, right? We saw آمَنُوا before. So those who do good deeds, those who believe and do good deeds, and they believe, bi. You always do amana bi, right? If you believe in something, in Arabic you believe by it, you believe bi something. So wa amanu bima, they believe in what, or they believe by what? By what? Nuzila. Nuzila is from the verb nazzala, which is a form 2, which means to send down, right? The form 1 nazala means to come down yourself, if you're saying nazala, if you say, nazala Muhammadun, it means he himself came down, right? But the most common kind of context I've heard in spoken Arabic is usually coming downstairs, right? If you say inzil, like siblings calling up the stairs to other siblings, inzil, come down. Yeah. But nazzala means to send something else down, right? It's for example, what we're seeing here is what has been sent down upon Muhammad. بِمَا نُزِلَ عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ. What has been sent down upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Good. Yeah, and what was sent down. So nuzila, rather nazzala, is the passive, right? It's not what he sent down upon Muhammad, it's what was sent down upon Muhammad, right? And also another thing to mention is we notice here that unlike many names in the Arabic language, Muhammad can take tanween. Typically we kind of learn the rule that Arabic names names that are Arabic in their origin, right? There are lots of names that have kind of become, they're kind of Arabized names, like the name Yusuf and Yunus and Ibrahim. They're not originally Arabic names, but they've become Arabized. But with originally Arabic names, they can take tanween. So there's a few other names like that, like, you could, just as here, there is Ala Muhammadin. So just to demonstrate that point I was making, you can't say Ala Yusufin. It'd have to be Ala Yusufa, right? There's some names that can't take tanween and can't take kasra either. But Arabic names can. So Arabic names like Zayd, Ala Zaydin, Ala Aliyin, Ala, whatever, like many Arabic names, male Arab names. Female names are mamnu' min as-sarf, just like Yusuf and Ibrahim. But and but then also there are kind of, sometimes there are foreign names, but they fall in an Arabic pattern, right? It's a whole nother topic. Like, I've had loads of conversations with my Arabic teachers and stuff about this, and it's it ends up that sometimes when we deliver lessons on this, we end up simplifying it to make it easier, but there's a little bit more to it. But basically, there are some names, like for example, Lut. Lut is not a Arab, right? Lut. Neither is Nuh, Prophet Noah, Nuh alayhi salam. But they both take tanween in the Qur'an. We have in Surat Nuh, Inna arsalna Nuhan ila qawmihi. We don't have Nuha, it's Nuhan. But why? Well, it falls in an Arabic pattern. Because like the name Hud, the Prophet Hud alayhi salam is an Arab prophet. And you can say Hudun, right? You can take tanween. So, and Lut and Nuh, they're in the exact same pattern as Hud, right? So Lut and Nuh, they can both behave like that. It's not because they're Arabic names, because they're not, but it's because they fall in an Arabic pattern, Arabic shape of words. But anyway, the important thing to know here is that you can say Ala Muhammadin wa huwa al-haqq, and it is the truth, okay? Often when students read this, and even me myself, until I really sat down and thought about it, when we hear wa huwa, our English-speaking mind encourages us to think, and he is, right? Because we know of huwa to be he. In English, we make a distinction between he that we use for people and it that we use for things, but Arabic doesn't. Arabic uses huwa for both. So is it saying here that Muhammad is the truth, or the bima nuzila ala is the truth, or the what was sent down is the truth, or Muhammad is the truth? Really, it's what was sent down which is the truth, right? I mean, how can a person be the truth? Like, to be honest, like as someone who used to be a Christian, like obviously we know about the verses speaking of Jesus in the Bible that say that he is the truth, the way, and the life, right? But so to me it didn't seem too unusual to call a person the truth, but it is actually kind of like, how can a person be the truth, right? What they're saying can be the truth, right? But how can anything, like how could this pen be the truth? Or how can like my cat be the truth? Like, it's the things that they're saying which are the truth, right? The things that are being revealed which are the truth. So yeah, it's the and the translation I think is congruent with that as well. Yeah, and the truth from their Lord, right? That is what this ayah continues to say. Wa huwa al-haq. The term haq means the truth. Min rabbihim, from their Lord. But I mean, without looking at a translation and authenticating that thought process, you could think that obviously Muhammad was sent from his Lord, right? But it's what was sent down from the Lord, right? That's what's really being meant by this. كَفَّرَ عَنْهُمْ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ. Okay, really nice actually. So in the previous lesson I actually mentioned the verb صَدَّ عَنْ something. It doesn't mean to turn away about something. It means to turn away from something, right? Just like here, كَفَّرَ عَنْ doesn't mean to like cover about something, right? It means to what is it? It means to sort of cover over, right? To cover over, كَفَّرَ عَنْهُمْ, or to remove from them. Really, is maybe a better translation from it. I think the translation that Abdul Halim gives is he will overlook, right? Which is, it does mean that, right? But كَفَّرَ, I'm tempted to have an idea of covering because it comes from kafara, but كَفَّرَ عَنْهُمْ is saying that Allah will remove for them, or will remove for them سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ. Sayyi'at is the opposite of salihat. So salihat are your good deeds and your sayyi'at are your bad deeds. And do what? Aslaha. He will make salih. He will make something right. He will put right. Balahum. Balahum, it means their situation or their state. He will make He will make right their state or their situation, right? So let me do like another kind of crude word for word focused sort of a rendition of this. So, and those who have believed, and they have done good deeds, and they have believed in what was sent down upon Muhammad, and it is the truth from their Lord. He will remove from them their bad deeds, and he will correct or make right their situation or their state. That's kind of how we would do like maybe a crude word-for-word rendition of this particular ayah. So hopefully we've learnt lots of Arabic from that one. We have a lot more in that actually. Maybe we've got like 10 new words or something like that perhaps. The vocab list is certainly a chunky one for this particular lesson. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to like and share this video, and also please don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. That makes a really big difference to kind of build up this channel, and YouTube especially might be one of the hardest platforms to grow on now because, you know, it's older and it's more mature and stuff. It's hard to grow on YouTube, so please help me out. That really help to support the channel, and that also goes for you lot on the podcast as well, actually. This goes to you lot just listening on the podcast, you guys. Please come and help me out on the YouTube channel. It would mean the world to me. So thank you very much for listening, and that's everything for today. See you guys in the next one. We'll be going over the third ayah. Yeah, or at least half of the third ayah, because I think... Oh, no, we will do the whole of the third ayah, actually. It's not a too big one. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.